Okay, here we are, guys. I know I keep saying I'm gonna break this tank down, and I am, but it's probably starting to look like I'm never gonna do it. The new place I'm moving into should be ready within maybe within a few days or a week, and I'll have to start breaking this thing down. But I just did a big cleanup. I knocked down all those stems that were in the back. I had put those in the back on the left side just to save them. I took them out of the other tank and put them in there because I was thinking like, well, I'll just stick them in here for now to hold them. But then next thing you know, they got really, really big and grew to the top, and I was too lazy to do anything about it. So I knocked them all down and I put the tops back in. So, I mean, I know it looks weird in here because my camera shows things pretty funny, but the maca reds, they look like Walichis, they're maca reds, and then I have some Rotala Mexicana Araguaya back there. And I mean, let's see if I can make this look any better. I don't know if I can. Does that look better? Yeah, looks a little better. I got it on the pro setting because my regular video just everything looks so fake. But gonna stroll through the tank a little bit here and show you a couple things. I know this was a risky move, but I got this new crypt a little while back and it's just starting to grow. You can see it's like baby leaves. That's a crypt. That's a Cryptocorn Silver Queen. Never had one before, and it's growing super slow, so it might die when I move the tank stuff. My Striolata Tiger here. I thought it was a Hendricky before, but it's a Striolata Tiger, and it is, I would say, a flowering or something. It has two pods. It had one pod, and I got worried. I didn't know what it was, but see how it's twisty? If you can see this, it's all twisted up. I thought something was wrong with it, but it's growing a spathe. Now it's growing a second spathe, and it's got a little seed pod at the bottom. I don't know if the seed pod will ever sprout or what they do underwater. I've never had a crypt flower underwater before. Here's the Cryptocorn Aura Pink Variegated. It's really hard to see on the camera, but it has a little baby leaf. And I got another new one. It's not supposed to be super sensitive. It should be okay for the move, but back here behind the Winties, this, I think it's called a auriculata or something. They're supposed to stay green, like bright green, which is good because most crypts don't stay bright green in CO2 and highlight, but it's supposed to stay high green, like a light green color with kind of bluish blackish vein pattern, sort of kind of like the other one I got here, you know, kind of like this guy, except similar pattern but more like a Winty. So think about it kind of like how flamingos are hot pink Winties, and then the auriculata, however you say it, is like a green with sort of a dark blue and blackish veins design, but it's a Winty. My Rosen Maiden is doing really good, and as you can see right here, that is a little baby coming off of it, and it's got a couple other babies in there too. So here's a new little Buse patch. It's not attached, or it's just sitting here. It's just a little Buse clump of Coppice Brownie, like the original Brownie, Ghost Brownie. So got that in there, and this is just a little look at the tank, how it's doing, how it looks. It looks a lot better trimmed. It kind of looks like a scape now, like it's supposed to. And I'm gonna be real sad to break it down, but I broke down the other tank. Excuse the house. I'm moving. So let's turn the light on here. I destroyed this tank, and I've done a few water changes on it and try to get all the gravel out that I can. I'm gonna take this tank and empty it all the way down, and then I'm gonna move it to the new place, and then I'm gonna put some aqua soil and cap it with sand. Then I'm gonna take everything, all the plants and stuff from the mainscape, I'm going to take all these plants and yank them all out, and I'm going to plant all of them in that one. So it's not going to be a scape, it's just going to be like straight across, and then just kind of lump things in groups and just sort of put everything, you know, it's just like a holding tank. So, you know, I'll put like the couple of one crypt there, and then a row of flamingos, and then, you know, like that, and just sort of, if there's any wood pieces or anything in there, it's going to be something just to hold, like some Bolbitis or Pinnata fida or something, I don't know. But I mean, everything in here pretty much will just be, it'll be in that tank, and I'll hook the CO2 and the lily pipes up to that, and that's just going to be the holding tank, like a farm looking one, or like a store when they're selling them. And when this tank is empty and I've got it all completely done, like nothing in it, I'm gonna restart rescaping it, but I'm just gonna do it dry. I'm not gonna put any water. I'm gonna, you know, do the, I got a couple of under gravel plates, like a 20 gallon under gravel filter plate. I've got some of those with the pipes, and I've got some of the plastic canvas mesh here that I can put in there, and I got ideas about how I'm going to set it up for the filtration. I'm going to have an under gravel filter on there, but it's not really going to be pulling from it, just barely. It's going to have, I got a bag of bio balls, and I'm going to put those underneath it, so it'll help build a little bit of height. And then on top of that, I'll put some cat litter, and I'll use cat litter over the plates to build a little more height. And then I'm going to do soil, aqua soil, all the rest of the aqua soil that I have. I got a 50-pound Olroy bag outside, and it's half full of old aqua soil. So I'm going to use that and go across it to make it a little higher. And then I'm going to cap that with sand. But before I put all the layers and stuff in, I'm just going to put like the plates and the stuff that goes in the bottom for the filter. And then while I got that in there, I'm going to put the cat litter across it to build a little more of the height. And then I'm going to start playing around with all of my driftwood and the few rocks. And it will probably end up, I'm not going to lie, it's going to end up similar to this, because I always end up with some type of a V shape or something. Because I kind of like to have, I don't know, but instead of like big rocks like here taking up all the space, instead of having no real estate like this, the rocks would be a little more towards the back and higher up, and then have the wood and stuff, like big wood on top of everything, sort of branching out and coming across. And then I'll have a lot more room to plant and go around it, sort of like how nature style does, with like a couple of big parts of rock and stuff like that, but then all the rest of it will be sort of like it's islands, kind of. Which, I mean, this is similar, but it's not quite like that. So I don't know, but I'm just playing around with the ideas. It will look maybe slightly a little more like a naturescape, and then instead of like fully completely like scaped out, and you know, like rocks taking up all the space, I'll just, because I mean, those big lava rocks back there and right here, like you can't do anything with that. You can't plant anything. There's really not a lot of room to plant with this. So this next time here, I'm gonna just use the rocks like further back to build height in a couple of areas real tight, and then the big wood branching out from it. And then I'll do like, you know, Bolbitis, Pinnata fida, and moss and things like that, like built up into the canopies of the wood. And then just all the open area, I can put like all my crypts and stuff, like flamingos. I can put like a row on the side or something like that. You know, I'll have more space. Like these nurries have started to outgrow their space over here. And I'm not really going to do like the big stems like this, because I was doing that before. But what happens is those stems grow really fast and nothing else does. So I end up where I'm always checking on the scape. It always looks good. Everything is like chill plants. Then I've got one corner where it just keeps going up, and it makes me not want to like get back there to try to knock it down, trim it, or do anything with it. So that part ends up growing up and it looks lopsided. So we're gonna go with mostly like all slow cool stuff this time. And maybe I get back into stems one day and do another scape with a lot of stems, but right now it doesn't look like that's really going to be the plan. So let me lower down here. Looks pretty good. I mean, looks real good to me. I love this tank, man. I'm gonna hate breaking it down, taking it apart. Like, it looks really good. And I think right now, even though it's been neglected for so long, I think it kind of looks better than it ever has. Right now, at this point that I just cleaned it up. So it's a pretty tank, but hopefully the next one will be prettier, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know how many plants I'm gonna lose during the move. I mean, honestly, when you yank all your plants out and you put them into another tank, and then that tank has to cycle, and then some plants make it, some plants don't. Sometimes they, I don't know. It's just, it's a big pain. I might lose some plants. Like my flamingos and stuff should be okay because I'm really good at those guys, keeping them. But some of the other less common crypts might get stressed out or something. The Buse should be okay. Hopefully all my Buse doesn't get like hit up real bad with algae during the whole time, but I don't know. We'll see how it looks and see what happens. And I don't know, that's about it. So moving pretty soon. I'm gonna have to break this whole thing down in a few days, so kind of sad about it, but I'm also glad too at the same time, because like you can see right here, like you can see how the sand, I had soil and stuff, and you could see the cat litter pieces that all came up. And this time I'm gonna have the cat litter just at the bottom. This time because this time was cat litter and then capped with sand. So this next one here is gonna be the cat litter, but then aqua soil above it, like, will be the main layer, and then capped with sand. That way, when I move stuff or whatever, for whatever reason, instead of having all these little pieces like this, all these pieces of cat litter everywhere, it will be more like pieces of aqua soil, which I can vacuum out. Aqua soil vacuums out easily, and so does sand, and sand is cheap. So just gonna be doing the same thing. Cheap pool filter sand. I got like, it's like 25 30 pounds for like $13, something like that. So I mean, that's cheap. Aqua soil, I'm reusing aqua soil, so hopefully I don't run into tons of problems with that. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, that's the update. So that's it. And hopefully I don't lose all these fish in the move too, because I mean, they're gonna have to go through a lot of pain, a lot of cycling, a lot of change, and then the plants are gonna start melting. So hopefully it's not a chain reaction. So alright guys, take it easy.